Hi guys, welcome to this set of videos. These videos are going to go along with what we're now going to do in extending our conversation on transformations. Now, I told you back in Chapter 1, Section 3, that we would begin to look deeper into transformations in Chapter 2, and now again here in Chapter 3. In Chapter 2, we took a much closer look at translations, that's a change in position. Then we took a closer look at reflections, that's when we are reflecting the image across the line of reflection and getting the mirror image on the other side. And then we took a look at rotations, that's spinning an image around a point. What we're going to do here in Chapter 3 is we're going to start by taking a look at a sequence of transformations. What happens when instead of just doing one transformation like a reflection, or just taking an image and translating it, right? What happens if we do several translations in a particular order? That's what we're going to look at here in this chapter, and in particular these videos and this set of notes. So, sequence of transformations. As always, we start with our essential question. This is the question you should be able to answer by the time we get to the end of this set of videos and these notes. We want to know what happens when you apply more than one transformation. We'll talk about that in just a second. In order to answer that essential question, there are several things that you're going to need to be able to do. Several things that you'll need to know in order to help you answer that question. Those are going to be our objectives. So as we go through these notes, these are the things we're going to learn how to do. Students will identify the coordinates of vertices of an image. We've been seeing that objective every single time for the last several sections. So definitely important that you're able to graph things on a coordinate plane and find vertices. Students will draw the image of figures using more than one transformation, a sequence of transformations. So we'll take a look at that. And then what we're going to do, students will predict the location of an image after a sequence of transformations. All right, so here we go. Let's jump right into this, and here's what is essentially, here's what's coming. We've been taking a look at transformations, and in particular, two kinds of transformations, what we call a rigid motion and what we call a non-rigid motion. So real quick, a rigid motion preserves shape and size, right? The image doesn't get bigger or smaller than the original figure, right? Same shape, same size. Then we looked at non-rigid transformations, which is a transformation that does change the shape of the image, right? It stretches it or compresses it, but it changes its shape. So as we go through these, keep that in mind, rigid versus non-rigid. We're going to kind of develop an idea here having to do with rigid, non-rigid transformations and congruence. So let's jump right into one of these. Again, just I'll highlight it for you here real quick. What we're doing, transformations can be applied one after another in a sequence, right? One after another in a sequence. I highlighted more than I needed to there. We can stop right there at sequence. That's really what we're going to be doing here. Sorry about that. Well, that's really what we're going to be doing here in this set of notes. Transformations in a sequence. So here we go. Let's just jump right into this. What I've done, I want you to draw the image of triangle ABC. So I've given you a triangle. We'll have to label the vertices, no problem. After the given combination of transformations, and here they are. I want you to do a reflection over the line L, which I've given you right there, the line L. Actually, let me go ahead and there he is. That's line L. And then I want you to do a translation along V. And there is V right there. I'll go ahead and label him as well. That is my vector V right up there. All right, let's just jump right into this because I know that you guys know how to do transformations. We've been working on them for a while now. The only difference here, we're going to do more than one at a, well, we'll only do one at a time, but we're going to do a transformation after transformation after transformation in a sequence. Okay, here we go. I'm going to make this one right here. That is going to be my A, B, C. First thing I'm going to do, right, I want to do a reflection over line L. Remember the way that a reflection works. A reflection, we need to find, right, the point that is exactly perpendicular, that will intersect, right, my line of reflection, right, so that it is perpendicular. Take a look at this. What if, let's see, where is my perpendicular point? If I drew, actually, yeah, that is perpendicular. At least it looks perpendicular to me. So here's what we've got. My reflection is going to be this. I'll do it in green. So because A is on the line of reflection, hopefully you remember, the reflection of A is A prime, and it will be itself. Then, because this line is already perpendicular to my line of reflection, all I have to do from point C is count to the line of reflection, right? So it's up 1, 2, and then to the left 1. So do that again on the other side. Up 1, 2, to the left 1, and that'll be my new C prime. So 1, 2, to the left 1 right there. That's C prime. And then B prime, let's see, where is my line that's perpendicular? You know what that looks like? Let's see here. Does that look like a perpendicular line right there? Yes, it does. That looks perpendicular to me. So here we go. I am going to, from B, count to that point right there on my line of reflection. So that's going to be up 2 and to the left 1. So do the exact same thing. Up 2 to the left 1. That puts B prime right there. And there is my reflected triangle. Sorry, that A prime kind of got in the way. Let me just erase that a little bit so it's a little cleaner. Awesome, there we go. So there's my reflected triangle, and again, the way that we did that is just by simply drawing a perpendicular line from the line of reflection to each point. It turns out the perpendicular line from the line of reflection to the point C is that side of the triangle. So that actually makes my life a little bit easier. Okay, now that I've done the reflection, check. Now I need to do the translation along V. Now remember, in order to do a translation along a vector, you need to know the components of the vector. So let's find those. My vector is going to give me a rise of 1, right? It's just up 1. And then a run of 1, 2, 3, 4 in the positive direction. Let me do this one in a different color as well so that I'm not... let's see, what's going to be a good color here? What other colors do I have? You know what? Black. We can see black on here. So here we go. Every single one of those points, I'm going to go up 1 and then to the right 4. So A, up 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So right there. Oh, sorry, that's not black. That's green. Now, again, this is my second transformation. So I went from A to A prime to now A double prime. That's A double prime. Okay, C, up 1 over 4. Up 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. That puts C double prime right there. B, up 1, right there. Again, that'll be B double prime, right? Because I went from B to B prime to now B double prime, and there is my translated triangle. After doing 2 transformations, check. Reflection over the line that I gave you by finding the perpendicular, right? The line that intersects that point perpendicular to my line of reflection. Just count to get to that line and then do it on the other side. So there's my reflection, and then a translation along V. Okay guys, hopefully that makes a lot of sense. The rest of the problems in this set of notes is just going to be doing the exact same thing. A sequence of transformations. Please feel free to try the next few on your own. Just check on back and see how I did them. You know, check your answers with me and see how they went. So, head on over to the next page of the notes. We'll try a few more of these together. I'll meet you guys there.